Hello students, welcome once again. So today our topic is vectors and 3D geometry. Okay, so I am here with the questions, the advanced level questions from this topic. Okay, so we have already covered few chapters by now. So the target is, of course, I say it every time, and then there is a gap due to one or the other reason. There is always a gap, but this time I will try to ensure, because we are hardly left with 10 to 12 days for advanced. I will like to cover the differential calculus, integral calculus, and then miscellaneous chapters after this chapter today. Okay, so let's quickly start here. So the first question here is, a variable point P is on the circle on xy plane. Okay, so on xy plane there is a circle, x square plus y square is equal to 1. A variable point P is on that. From point P, perpendicular Pn is drawn to the line. So what's the equation of line? Line is x minus 2 is equal to y minus 2 is equal to z over minus 1. Okay, so that's the equation of line. A perpendicular Pn is drawn to the line, then minimum length of Pn is, minimum length of Pn is. Okay, so see, I will try to explain it with the help of this figure. So though I am not that good in drawing a three-dimensional figure on 2D on a plane. Okay, of course this board is a plane, so it's highly difficult for me. So but I will try to explain it with the help of something like, I will try to make you visualize what it actually means and how am I trying to use it. Okay, so let's say this is the origin here and that's the circle. Now this is our xy plane, bachcho. Okay, now that's the line and this is our circle. So that's the line. Now a point P is on the circle, x square plus y square is equal to 1 on xy plane, and that's the line. If P is here, on the circle, a perpendicular is drawn from P to the line. So let's say this is the line in that direction. This is the perpendicular drawn. Pn, this is the perpendicular drawn. We have to find the minimum value of Pn. We have to find the minimum value of Pn. Okay, now see, of course, from which point? So I will say, if this is the line somewhere, from this point the line pass, from this point the line pass, then I will keep this as the point P here, bachcho. So for me, this is the point P. Okay, now since the circle is x square plus y square is equal to 1, so I can take my point here as maybe any point, let's say alpha beta, or maybe parametric form. If I take it as parametric form, so sin theta cos theta. Okay, and 0, of course, it's on xy plane. So that's the point on the circle on xy plane. Now Pm. So again, I am saying that this is the line, this is the circle on xy plane, this is the point. Okay, so when you get the distance of this, of course this distance is 1 here, and then the point here. Okay, so can we have this point? Of course we can have this point, because this is the point of intersection of the line with the xy plane. So how to find the point of intersection of the line with xy plane? For that, z coordinate has to be 0. So if z is 0, so of course x is 2 and y is also 2. So this point is nothing but 2, 2, 0. So we have this distance OM. Hence we have this distance PM, which is nothing but root 8 minus 1. I think all of you will agree to this. Okay, so this is nothing but 2 root 2 minus 1 PM. Okay, now again look at the situation. That's the circle, the point on the circle, and I got this distance PM. Okay, now this is the perpendicular PN. To get the minimum this length, okay, to get this minimum, of course PM should be minimum, and now the minimum PM is root 2 minus 1 itself. I think all of you will agree. Okay, I am again repeating. See, Pn, if I fix such a point here so that PM gets minimum, then from that point you can only draw one perpendicular to the given line. Am I clear? I think I am. Isn't that? If again I am repeating, if I fix a point such that PM distance is minimum, okay, along the xy plane, okay, from origin to the line on the xy plane, okay, if that distance PM is minimum, and we know if we fix a point on the circle, then from a given point on the given line we can draw only one perpendicular, so Pn is that perpendicular. So I am fixing PM, which is the minimum here. Okay, now how to find what shall I say, the Pn. Now the situation is something like this. Let's say this is point P here. Okay, this is Pn perpendicular and this is PM. Okay, now how much is Pn? Pn is, if I get this angle theta, that Pn is actually PM sine theta. Isn't that, bachcho? So how will I get this angle? See, Mn, so that lie on the line. If drs are given 1, 1, minus 1. PM, its drs, m is 2, 2, 0, so its drs are 2, 2, 0. So what's the cos theta? So using that formula, cos theta is a1 a2 plus b1 b2 plus c1 c2 upon under root of a1 square plus b1 square plus c1 square into under root of a2 square plus b2 square plus c2 square. What do we get? So 2 plus 2 is 4 upon root 3 into 2 root 2. So how much is it? So this is 1 by root 6, isn't that? So therefore our Pn, so let us find sine theta. So sine theta is how much? So sine theta will be in that case root 5 by root 6, isn't that something unusual? 2 root 2, okay, I'm sorry, it should be right, it won't be, it will be rather root 2 by root 3, and now by 2 root 2, so you will be left with here root 2 by root 3. So in that case sine theta is 1 by root 3. So therefore Pn is Pm, which is 2 root 2 minus 1 sine theta by root 3, and that's one of the options, so that is the answer. Okay, so that was the first question of today. I think that was a good question. Okay, I see these practice sheets I am sharing with our own students here in Adi Batla campus here in Toronto. Okay, so we are sharing these sheets here. Okay, so they are regularly solving it, and since as I told you earlier, since at times I got really very busy here, so that's why I couldn't record the videos. Okay, so anyways, let A, B, C are any three vectors such that A cross B is vector C, B cross C vector is vector A, C cross A is B. If vectors A, B, C are forming a right-handed system, also vector X is vector A, so there is lot of information, vector A plus vector B. Vector Y is 2 times vector A minus vector B. Point of intersection of the lines R cross X is equal to, so R cross X vector is equal to Y vector cross X vector. So see, if I bring it this side, so can I use the distributive property? We know both the cross product and dot product gets distributed over addition and subtraction, but what does that tell us? If two vectors cross product is a null vector, and of course we are assuming none of them are null vector. Okay, so if the cross product of two vector is a null vector, in that case the vectors are to be collinear. So in that case vector r minus y is collinear, so I can write it as lambda times vector x. So vector r is, now how much is vector y? So vector y is given to be 2a minus b, so 2 times vector a minus vector b plus lambda times what is vector x, which is vector a plus vector b. Fine enough. Similarly, the another line is r cross y is equal to x cross y, so it will be r minus x is equal to mu times y. So it will be r is equal to x, which is vector a plus vector b, plus mu times y, which is 2 times vector a minus vector b. Now we have to find their point of intersection. Of course, see, what does vector r represents in the vector form of equation of line? Vector r in the vector form of equation of, whether it's a vector form of equation of line, whether it's a vector form of equation of plane, or it's a vector form of equation of any curve, any surface. In all the cases, vector r represents the position vector of any point that lie on that line. Here's line, so on the line. If this would have been a plane, on that plane. If this would have been a sphere, on the sphere, on the circle, whatever equation we have written, vector r, which is there as a variable of the equation, will always represent position vector of any variable point on that surface or curve. Okay, so here it's a line, so vector R represents the position vector of any point on the line. Okay, so now how to find the point of intersection? We all know it, since if you have a point of intersection, that means you have a common point that should satisfy both the equations. Okay, so that means, of course, for a point you have only unique position vector. So that means if there is a point of intersection, then we should be able to get it from here also, from here also, and in both the cases the position vector has to be same. So you are just going to equate the position vector of that point of intersection from which we will get from two lines. It's mu here, 2a minus b. Okay, since A and B, ABC form like system of right-handed systems, of course they are non-collinear. So if I collect the A vector, I mean the scalar coefficient of A vector, so it is like 2 plus lambda is equal to 1 plus 2 mu, and minus 1 plus lambda is equal to 1 minus mu. Okay, so now if I solve it, so let's solve it. So how much is the value? Anyone? If I just subtract this, minus 2 minus lambda is equal to minus 1 minus 2 mu. Okay. So what do we get? This is gone. So it's minus 3 is equal to 0 minus 3 mu. Okay, nice. So mu is 1. So put that value here. So it's 3a. So the point of intersection is nothing but 3 times vector a. And as a verification, what you can do is, bachcho, that you will get you may try to get lambda here. Let's say mu is 1. So it's 3. So lambda is also 1 in that case. So put lambda here. You should get back the same thing. Of course, we are going to get 3 times vector a. So that means everything is fine. So this is how we could solve this question. Comparatively easier question. Now next one is point P moves on a fixed plane. So that's the fixed plane here. The plane through P perpendicular to OP meets the axis in ABC. So a point P moves on a fixed plane. So equation of plane is given, but point P is a variable point. Okay, so let the point P be alpha, beta, gamma. So since it lie on the plane, so let's use that condition quickly. So which is this? So that means the coordinates of the points should satisfy equation of plane. So that's one information which we are given. But remember, the coordinates of the point are unknown. That means the point P is an unknown point, a variable point. Now through OP, P perpendicular to OP, a plane is drawn which meet the axis in A, B and C. A plane is drawn passing through P and perpendicular to OP. Okay, so dRs of OP. Of course, even if it's not mentioned, we will assume O to be the origin. So dRs of OP is nothing but alpha, beta, gamma. All of you agree? How do we get dRs of line segment joining 2 points, x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1? Okay, so dRs is again. Now in that case, equation of plane, we can write it as, do we remember? A times x minus x1, equation of plane passing through a given point x1, y1, z1, and the normals, the dRs of whose normals is x, y, z. Sorry, the dRs of whose normal is ABC. So we know the dRs of the normal to the plane, which is OP, and the dRs of OP is alpha, beta, gamma. So the equation of plane is simply x minus alpha, and plane point itself is also alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so isn't that interesting that we are using the same triplet alpha, beta, gamma as the coordinates of point and also to represent the direction ratios. Okay, so that's the beauty of 3D here, because both are ordered triplets, so it may happen, and that's what is happening here. So in that case, the equation of plane is alpha x plus beta y gamma z is equal to alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square. That's the equation of plane. Okay, now it intersects the coordinate axis in A, B and C. So let's say it intersects the x-axis at A. So that means on the x-axis, axis in A, B and C. Okay, so on the x-axis, it's like both y and z coordinate are 0. So A point is, which is the point of intersection of this variable plane, because alpha, beta, gamma are unknown, the variables. So a variable plane with the x-axis, so y and z are to be substituted by 0. So we get x, which is alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by alpha comma 0 comma 0. So likewise, can we write it directly with the y axis? So x and z coordinate are going to be 0. So it will be alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by beta comma 0, and similarly c will be 0 comma 0 comma alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by gamma. So that's it. Now let's move to the next part. Planes through A, B and C parallel to the coordinate planes intersect in Q, show that the locus of Q, we have to find the locus of the point of intersection of three planes. Which three planes? The planes that are passing through the points A and parallel to the coordinate plane. Now if a plane is passing, let's say this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is z-axis, okay. So if the plane is passing through any point on the x-axis, and it has to be parallel to one or the other coordinate plane, which plane is it possible to which it will be parallel? It will be parallel only to this plane, which is formed by y-axis and z-axis, yz plane. And we know the equation of yz plane is x is equal to 0. So if there is a plane which is parallel to yz plane, the x coordinate is going to be a constant. So if we know the x coordinate of the point through which that plane passed, so the equation of that plane will be x is equal to constant, where the constant is this. So hence I can write that equation of planes are, so x is equal to alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by alpha. So similarly, equation of plane passing through the point B, a point on the y-axis, will be parallel to which plane? It will be parallel to xy plane. So in that case, rather, if it's it will be parallel to xz plane. Okay. So in that case, for any plane which is parallel to xz plane, its equation is y is a constant, y is equal to constant. And since it is passing through the point alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square upon beta, so we can assume its equation to be this thing. Likewise, z coordinate will be alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square upon gamma. Now these are three planes. So at what point will they intersect? You don't have a choice. I mean, the point of intersection, since x is a fixed, y is a constant, z is a constant in terms of like f free from x, y, z. Okay, so since these are the planes, so of course the point of intersection in that case, so point of intersection, see, it's simple, isn't that? If I say x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 2 are two lines on xy plane. So of course this is a vertical line, this is horizontal line. The point of intersection is 1, 2. What else? By x is always 1. So for the point of intersection, x will be 1. Y is always 2. For the point of intersection, it will be 2. So the point of intersection is 1, 2. Similarly, the point of intersection will be alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by alpha. Likewise, alpha square plus for y coordinate will be this, and then z coordinate will be, I think all of you agree, bacho, isn't that? Now we have to find the locus of this point of intersection. So I will assume it to be h comma k comma l, where h is of course the x coordinate, k is y coordinate, and l is z coordinate. Fair enough. Now what? Now we have to just get rid of alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so for that case, of course, our h is alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by alpha. So I will say that alpha is, because I have to get rid of alpha, beta and gamma, so I am trying to figure out the value of alpha, beta, gamma. So that's by h. Likewise, I will say beta is alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by k, and gamma is alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by L. Now one thing is for sure, that alpha, beta, gamma, since it satisfies this equation, so I am going to replace alpha, beta, gamma here. So I will get at least one relation that involves HKL. Okay, but then there is a problem, because it still involves alpha, beta, gamma. So wait, what I will suggest is square and add. All three, square and add. We will get alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square is equal to alpha square plus beta square. See, why am I doing it? Because that will help me in getting the value of alpha square, beta square plus gamma square. L square. Okay, so that's cancel. So 1 by h square plus 1 by k square plus 1 by L square is equal to 1 over alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square. Now see, we have value of alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square in terms of HKL. We have value of alpha, beta, gamma in terms of this and HKL. So let's put that value in the given equation of plane. So it's alpha upon A. Alpha is alpha square plus beta square gamma square by H. So A H. Similarly, alpha beta square plus gamma square. Beta is this square by K. So B K. Gamma by C. So gamma is alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square by C gamma is equal to 1. Okay, now what? Of course, alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square is a common from all the three terms in LHS. So take it common, take it to the RHS in denominator. We get 1 upon, and now see, we have to find the locus of variable point h, comma k, comma l. So of course, at last I am going to replace h, k, l by x, y and z respectively. So 1 by ax plus 1 by by plus 1 by cz is equal to 1 by alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square, which is 1 by h square. So that's what we got here. That's what we got here. So it is nothing but 1 by h square, so which is x square plus 1 by y square plus 1 by l square, which is z square, and that should be the answer here. Okay, so just a minute. So that is the answer there. Okay, so that's the answer. So that's what we have to prove. So that was a question based on finding the locus under different given conditions. So I think we have one more such question here. So next question is, if vector A and vector B are two non-zero vectors, then A and B make equal angles with vector C. If this happen. Okay, see, I just tried, we solved this question. As I said, I have shared these, I'm sharing these worksheets with the students here. Okay, so they are continuously solving it, and then we are discussing the questions, one or the other question as doubts so frequently. So see, when I went through this question, I realized it's not, I mean, we won't get a fixed C vector here. Reason is, see, if you have two vectors, vector A and vector B, and a vector which makes equal angles with both the vectors. Okay, so in that case, it has to be one vector along the angle bisector. Along, I am not saying it should be the angle bisector, along the angle bisector. Okay, so if we know that how to find the vector along the angle bisector, so it should be nothing but A cap plus or minus B cap. So anything like this. Okay, what I want to say here is, let's see. If we try to find the modulus of this vector and this one and this one, the modulus of both the vectors are same. Okay, just try to do that, bachon. So we can't fix a vector here. See, that's what it means. A cap means unit vector, B cap means unit vector, both are multiplied with the same lambda. So that means the scalar coefficients are such that vector, this lambda A and lambda B cap both have same modulus. The same thing is here. If you try to find the modulus of this one, okay, you will get the same vector here and the same modulus here. So I thought a lot about this question, but then I realized that we can't just fix a vector. Okay, but still why am I discussing it? I mean, why I left this for you people is to think on it, because I might have missed a point or two, but according to me, we can't fix a vector, such a vector. Okay, because I tried to think in several means, like if I draw a vector C like this and thinking about this as a let's say isosceles triangle, but in that case also, see, in that case also, if this is our vector C and the angle, so these angles are not to be counted as angle, because then the angle between the vectors is along their direction, so these two are to be the angles in that case. And in that case also, it will be actually perpendicular to this one, which is the another possible angle bisector. I mean, if we take minus A direction, let's say this is vector A direction, okay, and this is minus vector B direction, then that's the other vector. So according to me, okay, there we can't fix a vector. So the statement is then the with and if vector C is this. Okay, so my point is, even if this would have been minus, even if we just write a cap plus b cap any scalar times, it will be okay. Okay, so let's think once you people should also think, and if you have any other idea, different opinion from me, do share it with me. I will comment on it, and if that will be okay, I will definitely appreciate it and discuss it in my next video. Okay, now if in a triangle ABC, see what I analyze here, that's A, B, C, and then of course it's a triangle. Okay, see, I use a property which we all know, AB vector in a closed figure, BC vector plus CA vector has to be a null vector. Okay, so I just thought to find BC vector. Okay, then see, interesting thing I got. So it's U cap minus V cap plus BC vector. Now see, you might be thinking, why am I trying to do it? Because the reason is because see, the relation is in terms of cosine, cos 2a, cos 2b, cos 2c, and here since it's a triangle, we know ABC, sum of the angle is pi. Okay, 180 degrees is a triangle. Okay, so why I thought to get BC vector? Because actually looking at the option, I was thinking to apply cosine rule. I mean, I thought it may help. But see, that's what I said. I got something very interesting, because 2CA vector is opposite to AC vector. So minus 2U vector U cap is equal to null vector. Now from here, if I write my BC vector, so how much is it? Yeah, that's it. U cap plus V cap. And look at AB vector. It's U cap minus V cap. See, just now we were discussing the same thing. If I consider vector U and vector V, okay, and then if I go for their angle bisector, so the angle bisectors will be one along this and one along this, and there's a very fundamental theorem, very basic theorem, and that is for two given intersecting lines, their angle bisectors are always and always perpendicular to each other. So of course they are perpendicular to each other, and that you can verify also. So this implies angle B is 90 degrees, it's pi by 2. Angle B is pi by 2. Okay, so what does that mean? A plus C is again pi by 2. So if I go for the options, these are the just two options, 1 plus cos 2A plus cos 2B, and cos 2B is nothing but cos of pi, which gets cancelled with 1 here. Okay, and plus cos 2C. Now apply cos P plus cos Q formula, so which is nothing but 2 cos P plus Q by 2, and the moment you get A plus C, and whatever you get here, cos P minus Q by 2, doesn't matter, because A plus C is again pi by 2, so this has to be 0, and that's it. So the option 1, so I mean, see, I won't say that I knew that I will get it, okay, getting BC vector. No, as I said, looking at the option, I thought that I may be required to apply cosine rule. If so, it's better that if I get all the three vectors representing the sides of triangle, I may go for their magnitude and then apply cosine rule. But coincidentally, I got BC vector as the U cap plus V cap. Then at that very moment, I realized that angle B is nothing but 90 degree. Okay, and that's it. So question is done in that case. So moving to the next question. Next question is, R be a unit vector satisfying this relation where magnitude of A is given root 3, magnitude of B is given root 2. See, vector B is perpendicular to both vector A and vector R. I think all of you will agree with you, isn't that? That because see, R cos A is vector B. Okay, so vector B is perpendicular to both vector A and vector R. Now see here, since the option itself tells us that we need vector R to be represented in terms of A vector A cross vector B. So what I thought here to start with is to start with cross product, taking cross product both the sides with vector A. Now using vector triple product formula, what is it? So we know this dot product with the farther away the vector, so A dot vector R times the nearer vector minus its dot product with the closer one, so A dot A times R is equal to B cross A. Now we don't know anything about it, but this is mod A, magnitude of vector A is root 3, so it's magnitude of A whole square. So this is A vector dot vector R times vector A minus 3 times vector R is equal to B cross A. So since I need vector R here, so therefore I will write 3 times vector R, taking B cross A to the LHS, we get minus times B cross A, which I can write it as A cross B, and we already have A dot R times vector A plus A cross B. So of course vector R is nothing but 1 by 3 times vector A dot vector R times vector A plus vector A cross vector B. Now see, in such cases options are important. Why so? Because looking at the option only, I realized that we have to get it in terms of A cross B. Okay, otherwise see, there could have been, different other ways of thinking, but then I didn't try anything else except this one once I look at the option. Now what? See, in all the options, of course, you are looking at here, what is common is that A dot R is missing. That means we need to find the value of A dot R. Now how? See, take modulus both the sides in this given case. Okay, so what do we get? Magnitude of vector R cross vector A is equal to magnitude of vector B. So no, this is how much vector R. Vector R is a given unit vector here. So it's 1 into magnitude of vector A is root 3 into sine theta. Vector B is root 2, so sine theta is nothing but root 2 by root 3. So therefore cos theta is nothing but 1 by root 3. Now therefore dot product, so A dot R, that's what we need. So it's nothing but magnitude of A, magnitude of R, which is 1, cos theta, which is 1 by root 3. So this is 1, and that's it. Okay, so that's what we got as the answer. So the answer is this one. Okay, so B is the correct option. Yeah, that's the correct option here. So done, bacho. So moving quickly to the next question. Next question is a variable plane which remains at a constant distance P from the origin cuts the coordinate axis at A, B and C. Okay, so at a constant. So see, the plane itself, the variable plane is intersecting the coordinate axis. So I will consider the equation of that variable plane in the intercept form here. So it will be x by A plus y by B plus z by C equal to 1, where we have to remember that small a, small b and small c, the intercepts on the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis are the unknown. They are the unknown constants here. Okay, so yeah, so of course, so in that case, point A, I am assuming that its the point of intersection of this plane with the x-axis is represented by point A, which has to be A comma 0 0. Similarly, point B is 0 comma B comma 0. C is nothing but 0 comma 0 comma C. Okay, now the locus of the centroid of the tetrahedron. Okay, centroid of tetrahedron is given by tetrahedron has 4 vertices, O, A, B, C. O is origin, of course, 0 0 0, and in that case the centroid of tetrahedron is x1 plus x2 plus xc plus x4 by 4, y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus y4 by 4, z1 plus z2 plus z3 plus z4 by 4. So tetrahedrons, centroid is nothing but A by 4, B by 4, C by 4. Okay, why so? Because fourth coordinate is nothing but fourth vertex is 0 comma 0 comma 0. So add all the abscissa, not the abscissa exactly, the x coordinate divided by 4, add all the y coordinates divided by 4. So that's what we get. We have to find its locus. So again I will replace it with, assume it to be h comma k comma l, and nothing, you see, it is going to be really simple. A is nothing but 4h, B is nothing but 4k, C is nothing but 4l, and now just replace A, B, C here, where, not here. Okay, which remains at a constant distance P from the origin. So that's what I missed. Okay, so distance of this plane from the origin is nothing but 1 upon under root of 1 by A square plus 1 by B square plus 1 by C square, which is equal to P. Cross multiply and squaring. Okay, so we get P square okay, is equal to, rather I will take P square to the denominator here. Okay, so it will be 1 upon A square plus 1 upon B square plus 1 upon C square is equal to 1 by P square. Put the value here. So this is nothing but 1 by 16h. See, A, B, C are the only unknown. So if once you replace, you can replace h, k, l by x, y, z. So it's 1 by 16, 1 by 16 y square plus 1 by 16 z square is equal to 1 by P square, taking LCM. Okay, so taking LCM, you get 16 x square y square z square by p square is equal to x square y square plus y square z square plus x square z. I mean, whatever order you write doesn't matter. So now I think that was k. So k is nothing but 16. So what we have to find in that case? We have to find fifth root. So 32 is 2. Isn't that 2 into 16 is 32? So fifth root of 32 is 2. So that's it. So that was question number 8. Now next is ABC be any point on the plane. So there's a plane. I mean, that's a plane. Okay, let's say this is origin and that's the plane. Okay, then the least value of the C. That's a really a simple question. Just only thing is that we need to realize that this is what? This is representing the distance OP square. So that's what we need. So distance of point, any point on this plane from the origin. Once we know it, we know the smallest such distance is nothing but the perpendicular distance, isn't that? So the point A comma B comma C should be on the line, so on the plane of course, but also on the line which is perpendicular to the plane and passing through the origin. So if that's the plane and this is the origin, so that's the distance. So this is nothing but that's the minimum possible distance. So you don't have to do anything. Just find its distance from the origin. So the distance of this, so OP is nothing but 7 by root 14. Okay, so 2 times OP square. So 49 by 14 into 2, 7. So according to me the answer should be 7. Just check it once. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so that was a very simple question in that case. So moving to the 10th one, the line this makes an isosceles triangle with the plane. See, these are two planes. Let's say these are two planes. Okay, and see, planes of course they will intersect and they will go to infinity on both the sides. Okay, on both the sides. So that's the plane. Now if there's a line which makes an isosceles triangle, okay, so then there are two possibilities. See, one is like this, so this angle, and one second possibility is it may make it with this side of the plane also, isn't that? So there can be two such lines, two such directions. Okay, two such directions. Okay, now see, simple angle which it makes with the plane and angle of the line with the plane doesn't make any I mean, that's not something which is standard. So how do we do it? So we just try to find the angle which it makes with the normal to the plane, isn't that? So that means if it makes equal angle with the plane, it should make equal angle with the normal also. So what I tried was just find the A, B, C, A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2. Here 2, 1, 3 are the drs of the normal to the plane, k, 2, minus 12 are the drs of the equation of the drs of the line. Okay, so 2k plus 2y minus 36. So that's one possibility. Okay, and then if I take it as 2k plus 4 plus 36, we will get k. It's k, not 2k. So we'll get a k which is going to be a very huge value. Okay, so 74, but that's not an option. So then I went for the other option. Other option is C. How will you get two different angles in that case? See, if I multiply this line equation of plane with -1, will that make any difference in the equation answer? No, but then if I now use it as to find cos theta, so let's do it. So what will we get here? See, it's simply like theta or pi minus theta type of thing. Okay, so here it is 2k plus 2 minus 36. Now if you take A1, A2 minus k minus 4 minus 36. Okay, 36 gone, so 3k is equal to minus 6 and k is equal to minus 2, and that's it. Okay, so that's simple. So cos theta and cos pi minus theta is the idea. Okay, so I tried to get it. So since that was not an option, so I just considered this to be the one and we got the answer. So that's it. So now moving to the last question, I suppose. The line this intersect the curve. So again, see, that's a simple question according to me also. The only idea of using it is z is equal to 0. So you have to get it. So we know how to use equation of line in terms of a point. See, to use any given equation of line, we have just three choices. Either we use it for its dr, the direction, or we use it to for the fixed point through which it passes. Otherwise, the only third option in which we can use it, the only third possible way in which we can use it, by assuming any variable point x, y, z on the line. And how do we do it? By equating all the ratios with p. So x is nothing but 3p plus 2, y coordinate is 2p of any point on the line, and z coordinate is minus p plus 1. Now this is 0. Why? Because if it has to intersect this curve, z has to be 0. So we directly get p is equal to 1 and p is 1. So the point of coordinate, point of intersection is, put p1 here, it's 5, put p1 here, 1, and this is 0. And since it's a point of intersection, it should satisfy. So c square is 5, so c is equal to plus minus root 5. That's it. Okay, so I think what c is the answer, and think that's the last one. Yeah, that's the end of it. So now in the next one, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'll be uploading the questions of differential calculus. Okay, so there will be 2 such practice sheets of differential calculus and 2 such sheets for integral calculus also bachcho coming, and then we will move to miscellaneous sheets also. Okay, so chaliye, that's the end for today. We will meet with the next video on differential calculus.